This one is a straight up remake with
just say like and subscribe. But if I had every video that I had ever done, I never said that I can subscribe because I don't know who's watching me. Like they subscribe to, and maybe like a day later they say, "Oh, fucking, I'm not gonna subscribe to them." I don't know how I got views on this an account made from just a year. Like I know shorts, you get like 1,000 videos, 1,000 views, or you make 1,000 videos. You can't keep making. I stopped an account that I had made back 2015. That I made 2,494 videos or 99 videos, 4,000 or 2,000 some odd videos. I had a notion of knowing that it shows the analytics of all that shit. But if you log off it forever, then the more it was like split in the middle between female and male. The females would tell me more crazy shit than male. Like if you go forth and like have somebody say that they subscribe to you and they say, "Oh, my kid watches you, but it was 18 and plus." If you click an 18 and plus box, then I'm not like sitting here butt ass naked jerking off. So I'm like, how to explain that I played Resident Evil originally and like Capcom games were like rated M for mature. I played rated M for mature games. Sure as hell ain't gonna have some kid watch you. And the parent comes by and says, "I don't like what you play on your fucking account. Like I don't like that. It's not YouTube. I'm not on YouTube Kids, so this isn't YouTube Kids. I don't have ability to know that I played a M-rated mature video game, and I just watch on like just I don't watch it. You can't block me off it because I don't have the community guideline strikes on." Like copyright isn't guideline. Guideline strikes is when you like have a gun in your hand and pointing at the screen. That stuff like that would get you, I think, banned off the platform. I'm not on. I'm on medicine for depression that makes me have anxiety attacks, and I'm on medicine that makes you more probed to having people tell you things when they say, "Oh, this guy's on medication," but what is he on medication? I was on diabetic medication that I winged off of because it made me feel weird and I would lose weight. I would sit there and walk around, but it isn't enough. I would walk around during the day.
You can also select and use your magic attacks the same way.
People would call me gay, but I'm not like, there's not really knowing that if a pink trimmed broom that isn't really mean anything, just pink trimmed broom, it's not even trim, it's just curtains that are painted pink.
I didn't care for this aspect as I find slot machines and gambling pretty boring.
I couldn't hang up anything at the apartment because the apartment building was leased. I don't feel comfortable putting stuff on the wall at the apartment.
This game really dates itself.
I got like sicker than a dog.
Not only that, but everyone loves to send.
Yeah, like, oh, this guy's playing. He's not sick. He doesn't want to work, but you're on medication that dampers with you and it makes you thin. Or you look thin looking and you just don't feel well. Like, I was overweight in 2018, so when I was playing a video game with a tank top on, I think it was Resident Evil 1 remake, I was a little bit overweight when I played that originally. I had gallbladder surgery. That gallbladder surgery on your stomach was like for people that don't have the ability to go to the bathroom as much until after you go to the bathroom. I mean, I go at night more than I do during the day. I don't really. I eat, but I'm not eating I don't eat like 2 meals. I don't like breakfast, even though I eat breakfast, even though it's made for dinner. That I don't sit there and go like DoorDash or whatever or Uber Eats. I'm not that type to do that, even though I get the fast food somehow. I just know that like I exercise more than I eat. And exercise isn't gonna get you anywhere if you overdo it. And you walk, and you keep walking until you sweat, and you sweat. And I just know that the pill I take makes you plateau. If you don't take the pill like every other day,
Anyway, I really like
You
this
start
one.
losing
You
weight
select
because of the
the
side
game right from
effects.
the start. There are small bits
Side
and
effects
pieces
that make you
have
look
been added
thin.
over the original game, and most places are significantly bigger. It still has the bump combat though, so some people are still going
But
to
I had a
complain.
staph infection in 2019, so I know that like
You can also choose from 3 different styles of
when I had
music.
gotten sick and ended up at the hospital, they could have choose not to operate on my hand, but they chose to. And the guy that operated on my hand, he was a blessing in disguise, but he also got sick. Like it just happened that he had gotten sick, and it was, I don't know if it was off me or just off the notion that I had. The reason why I had long fingernails originally was because I wouldn't trim them. If I was diabetic, I wouldn't know how to go about trimming nails or going about how to, like, if you make your nail on something or if you bite your nails. I can't bite my nails because my teeth are all fucked up on the top. I have all my bottom teeth. I don't know if there's Renew Smile. There's Renew Smile. They put like metallic things, but how well is that? Like if they screw it in you, like you could die from it if it's extremely painful. Probably painful if they do that to you. Anything with your mouth, your eyes is probably the most painful shit. I had no notion of how painful that is until they start opening your mouth and doing that, and you have to probably be awake during it. Yeah. The reason why I hold it off on that shit because my tongue is heavy, and if my tongue leans down, even though it'll lean up, if they put you out, it'll lean out, and it'll probably be in the way, and they probably, I don't want any complications. They said there'd be too many complications with stuff, so I'm not bugging for a PS5 or asking anybody for money, but they know resources for dental, and the insurance I have is under a state-issued insurance that gives to you if you need to go to the hospital at any point in time for medicine or things that's given to you by the government. So all that stuff's given to you by the government, but I don't know what dentist to go to if my teeth are bad. I don't know. I asked people and they didn't respond back to me, and I asked the people there and they just gave me another office number to call, but the teeth they could make is just for show. It's just for not to chew, but just for show. So I don't know if there is a such thing as metallic teeth that don't break off that easily or anything else. That I tried to ask questions, they didn't seem to understand what I was asking, or it seemed like too much to ask for. It pays up to $10,000 in insurance, but like I don't know anywhere that would take the insurance I have is in between. I holding off on it. I had to hold it off on it, and I had my wisdom teeth still, but I don't know. Wisdom teeth are not what bothering me. It's just being on meds that they give you for antibiotics for an infection that it hadn't gone away. It'll keep coming back. If I went to Tri-County for like the 4 years and they closed for COVID, and I could have had my teeth cleaned back then, and maybe I should have had that done then if they were going to do it then, but all this shit happened in COVID was like if I go eat out like somewhere, you don't know who made your food and they can just do anything to it. And that's why I didn't like to eat out. That's why it's kind of crazy. You can eat out and then they can do anything to the food. And you get sicker than a dog. They're not gonna pay for you to get your teeth pulled out. They only have fake teeth put in there. Any of that shit, people worried about me saying that what you eat is gonna like end up having you be like a like out of shape and shit, but I'm not really out of shape if I walk more than that. I play a video game, but I stopped doing it after a while because it's based on hard drive. And the games I played, I get to like 18%, and I stop playing after a certain amount of time spent because I feel like if I had played through all that, they like basically it's not worth going through and platinum, if they're not gonna like say, hey, this guy can do stuff that they didn't think he was capable of. Somebody that stature, like somebody saying that they're off or whatever, fuck, like not mental, but like just basically say that they had to go to a hospital for help originally for like depression, and you go forth and people will tell you all sorts of creepy shit, and you go forth and you film some of it. I'm not saying that I'm a saint. I'm saying that like if like I ate like casserole like pasta salad, so like they ate a pasta salad and stuff. People were like putting ill under it. Like how is that disgusting if it's made from a box? And it wasn't store bought. Like, I didn't buy store bought pasta where they can put their hand in the mashed potatoes, like Pineapple Express. It's like that Pineapple Express movie where they have to go through and act like they saw a scene of a crime that you can place the scene at, but it wasn't at the scene. But they kind of like put it together like that movie with James Franco and Seth Rogen and that other guy that was on HBO show that was about baseball or something.
The music, on the other hand, is generally pretty good.
I forgot what the guy's name was.
This is indeed the ultimate Ghosts and Goblins game, but that's to be expected since there's
I don't really watch television after 2015. I stopped watching TV because what they put on the news and that isn't really like worth watching. If all they do is sort of like it's a fucked up society. I watch YouTube because they're like people make content and put it out there, and they can just watch it and they don't think they're gonna get like made fun of it. Then they said, "Oh, the pipe flashed his ass way back in 2010." There's a photo of me chunkier that I thought that was just funny the way I posed for a camera shot, and I don't know, it just. Something that I didn't mean for it to be public, but I don't think anything else that you go to a public place and work out. They could take the shower that you took and make a fucked up porn video about it, and make fucked up porno on camera feed of working out. And if you unclothe and reclothe, all that shit's on a camera feed, so they could make revenge porn if you go to a gym and work out. So I don't see how. Like people think that all that shit isn't like easy to access. The people nowadays have it on the fingertips and can forward and re-forward and email clips and shit. And it's like porn stars have more grip than normal people because they get like paid a buttload of money to do creepy shit. And they get paid to do that. That guy originally said Yates about that, and I'm like, well, I'm not the type of guy that would do all that creepy shit in one setting, and just going forth and distinguishing. He said that going forth and having it on camera, see some things, but having it on a feed that was close by, it was loud enough that everybody heard it. Going forth and acting like it didn't happen, and then saying you're schizophrenic, and it's bad enough to take advantage of the situation and be creepy with you. I grew out a goatee because I thought the worst was going to happen, so I just grew out a goatee and stopped caring about like what I look like and what I wear, and then what I had wear was a lot of red clothes because I looked better in red than I did. Like I had leaned down and had all my teeth back like 4 months or 9 months ago or 10 months ago, and I should have just kept the door locked and didn't go outside to be able to tell anybody would tell you anything horrible or think something bad would happen if you keep your door locked. And I even keep the screen door locked, and I don't like to go outside. I'm not conversating with anybody outside of this. And I know under the tab, if they want to email me, they can email me because I give my email out to everybody. They can email me, and then if I deem it worthy enough or they don't seem that I'm gross or grotesque enough, then I might collab with them. But they have to email me or under a tab or something. It's not just going to randomly appear in a video with somebody if they're calling me that guy off Game Trailers, that Keith Anaki, or that guy that was like a YouTuber that was in his van that he had lost wages and shit from Game Trailers and almost became homeless. That Keith, I forgot his name is Keith something, but he looked like Trevor off Grand Theft Auto, and I know that the Trevor and Grand Theft Auto and Keith Karnacki and the same guy, like Keith guy from Game Trailers, and the same people. So I just knew that one guy that looks like a serial killer and one guy on a video game that set up estheticians have the creepy shit that they kind of like protest against making video games that have too much shit going on at once. I don't know how the fuck they program most of that crazy shit and go forth and act like they don't do things off that and going forth and like knowing that I played originally some of that stuff back on Xbox, but I just stopped playing the stuff because like you see like how they bankrupt video game companies because they have to spend more money advertising for it than it's worth publishing on a disc, so they put it digitally on that. And I was buying everything digitally. I was buying stuff $25 a pop, like a million times over, have receipts for everything on the email attachment that I had bought it brand new, and I'm keeping the shit afloat if I'm buying it brand new and having the storage on it that I bought brand new and having a video game console that I bought brand new. I bought majority of those consoles brand new and try to buy a new game if it's available. If the first day in launch I would buy it. I might not buy a special edition, but I would buy 2 copies or 1 copy or buy it digitally and then buy it again, a disc or whatever the fuck.
Never really given much of a chance by Sony themselves.
I think that's why Gran Turismo literally wrote to me about that originally because I had bought it brand new on PlayStation 4 and I had bought a PSP or PlayStation handheld thing and I had bought the Grand Theft Auto version on handheld for brand new. I had bought all that shit brand new and try to help the company grow or whatever the fuck, or have the ability of knowing that you have one profile on that thing and then you kind of just play video games on it and then you kind of wing off of like medicine to try to be an esports player or try to see if that's initially something that would make me into if I had all that stuff in writing going forward and being on something that I sure knew on debit cards. So I had every month to take out the PlayStation account for PlayStation Plus. I had all that. I'm like, well, if they're doing all that, like if you're writing to me, telling me what I want to hear, then I would go forth and spend money willingly, knowing that they wrote to me, so I got somewhere with it initially. And I had to know that I wasn't nobody else. I'm no Jacob, not no Matt. This isn't sport. Sports is different from video games. Like if you go forth and have some jock think he can like take over your shit, he can get sued because you have somebody that's technically salary that can delete him off Facebook. If you Meta officially signed somebody that had enough people that once you get a threshold of 2,000 people or 4,000 people, you can get signed to a platform. YouTube's different because you have hooked up, you have your PlayStation account hooked on YouTube to play a video game, so you can play it for the majority of the time. On Meta, you would have to find another capture card for the computer and hook it up to the HDMI on the television to stream. I don't feel like doing all that shit. I'm not Javier, and the fucking goddamn email attachment was under my name, so this guy would act weird. And, like, they would say hostile takeover, and I took a photostamp copy of the stuff they told me, and I never wrote to them. They were giving me friends requests saying disc tray PS2, and I'm like, I'm not gonna listen to this fucking guy. If they're in Kansas, I'm in Missouri, so I know I bought the console new and have the receipt still. To this day, I still have the receipt to it in my underwear drawer. So if I go forth and press that against the screen to show that I made the purchase of it new. If this guy is insane and they're on drugs real bad and they sell drugs and go under for drugs and then have no notion of no remorse, just a fast life. Like I said about the celebrity people with fucking fast life, they're under scrutiny and shit. They'll tell you a bunch of creepy shit about. They'll tell you the most creepiest shit to get under your skin, and then no way of knowing that if not gonna pay for someone's court if they're telling you false statements and false testaments and shit going forth and having false statements made. If somebody had told me once that was a cop, they can't put bogus shit on you. They can't put bogus shit on a person. If I was around Evan, and fine, Evan was around me at that point in time, but I wasn't like he
What's really bad,
Like,
though,
here, why would I film somebody at the time and only have them on film, but don't hang around them anymore because of the stuff they say, and going forth and acting like they're irrational with you, and they take things out of context. Like they say that I was on drugs, but I was around people that smoked that stuff that I got sick because I was around somebody that put it in the air duct off a room that was for people that were designated to wash their clothes at an apartment building for 4 years. I wasn't on crack or meth or any of that shit.
This is an excellent.
I had blood tests that they took blood tests, and I was like, I wasn't on anything. It comes directly from me. My mom took me to the hospital, or the case manager would take me. It was like 50 people on one cell phone. And my body never changed. My body never really changed. So I'm still the same guy leaning down, but just have more issues going forth and having them tell you one thing and then doing another, and then they wouldn't have wrote to me if they were gonna do this to you. It's more trouble for them writing to one person that they know you're gonna post it on there once, because all those people do that. Like once they collab with you, or I collabed with Sony on Gran Turismo and bought it brand new on an email attachment that has my name fused together, my middle name, and all this for this some guy that turns everybody. That acts like the mafia isn't the way to go forth and do that. And I had 14-minute conversation with people at a bookstore that I had bought the purchase of comic books, that he said that Julio was whatever, but he would have to pay back child support or whatever the fuck. I had 14-minute conversation saying that I was retarded and that I didn't pay $50 for a book, but he would try to give me $1 for it and get ripped off. I have all that conversation. I had a pocket phone and put it. I normally don't do that because I just had a feeling that they were gonna do something like that, or just knew that I knew the people kind of from back then. I bought that wall scroll directly from them in 2002 or 2001 back then, and still kept everything that I had except the Pokemon cards or things that I didn't really know if I had gotten it stolen from me or somebody had gave me the majority of them, and I only had the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I kept certain things like public or private, and going forth and having all that stuff set to public or private, having all that stuff at one point in time, and knowing that they saw that and said that, hey, I would help you out for $1 million. I would help you, like, not sue Sony, but like said that if I got screwed over by the doctors with head concussion reason that going forth, if you had a head concussion, then you get $2.5 million off of head concussion no matter what they tell you. And I was basically knowing that the person had passed away because her pressure was so low when they fucking did surgery on her that they didn't reverse the causes of things that happened at the point in time, and she passed away real fast. And she was more healthier than anybody that I knew. Like, they were more healthier. They would eat right. I mean, they wouldn't just eat fast food restaurant like I do. And they would exercise more than anything. They had memberships to the gyms and all that stuff, and had workout high things. And I felt bad. Like, I was just out of it. I didn't want to be on medicines and end up in a hospital for things that I can't control. Diabetes is always something that it will always be there, but you can reverse it if you exercise. They would call me Quasimodo and shit, but I don't mean to lean down like that. I don't really think I have a hunchback, but they're just fucking psycho. I just know that I just don't listen to what they say and just ignore them. I feel like putting a padlock on the gate, and it takes like a key to open the padlock before anybody can just exit in and out of the fenced yard. I can put a padlock on there with a key that they can't go forth and do anything to you.
Air race speed from Cubic is a slightly more interesting racing game.
Saying. Nobody watches me anymore on this. I had to stop posting 11 days after playing a wrestling game. I gave up on that because the wrestling game wouldn't lag on the online. Like the Google Fi would not be as stable, but then not being directly plugged into the wall or whatever. It's like Wi-Fi enabled. I know that Time Warner Cable that were forced at the apartment to have Time Warner Cable, but they would charge you like $400 to $500 or $1,000 $2,000 depending on what the cable package is, and they would rank up the price. And if you bought stuff on there, or if you had to watch certain things, or if you have sports channels or pay-per-view and all that, they would rank up the price. All that stuff wasn't free.
This next game I'm going to talk about, once I get off the screen, was only available.
I spent all that money on Time Warner Cable and AT&T and AT&T and all that stuff to have different cable companies. The one that I liked the most was Time Warner Cable, but it cost. And going forth and having them tell you that they would, if you called directly from them, they would hang up like Google. Google would hang up the phone on you. You would call Google hotline and hang up the phone like twice. I just hang up the phone on. I said that shit right in front of. I'm like, why do you pay whatever amount you pay originally, like $250 for it, and going forth and having it installed by someone that came to your house and says, hey, we will hook this up for you. And I'm not on like porn sites that much, and going forth and knowing that I just sit there and watch YouTube or whatever the fuck. And I don't even like any of that stuff anymore. They get like looked at by people who saying that, oh, I think you watch crazy shit. You're going forth and you're on there. If you watch, like, if you go on Bling, that BING, there's a bunch of, like, if you directly look up someone's name, it'll come up and they'll show all that. You have to, like it's like Google and Bling and Firefox and things like Microsoft, Bling or whatever the fuck.
Eventually, others will join you in battle.
I don't even look up stuff today. I just look on the phone. I probably have like wild, you fucking look up wild shit on the phone, like websites and shit. I know I looked up a tranny site on here and on YouTube originally. It showed that off, and then it had probably knew that it was weird to have sites like that. They just have people with their ass cheeks hanging out and then going forth and not knowing whether it's legit or not. Like, you don't know how legit that shit is until you fucking call, and then you get in trouble probably if you actually meet them or something and going forth and doing that. I didn't do that, so going forth, and if it's weird enough to text anybody on there because you don't know what the fuck they think. Originally was a probably a bad idea to call anybody on those things. Or just never forward people money that you don't know, or if they ask you for money. It's not on Facebook asking you for money. I always say ask Mark Zuckerberg. I know Susan Wojcicki was the original person that had YouTube under the CEO, and I'm not asking anybody for anything. I'm just asking for resources for dentistry. I say like and subscribe, but I don't get views. Like, people get like 1 million views off like cat videos and shit, and the cat video probably wasn't even there. And I know I live stream shit, and it was like, there's people out there that would really help you out by telling you not to eat as much or telling you to exercise more. So I stopped playing the video game to exercise during the day. And just the video games are not going to like pay your bills if you only could establish only one thing that gave me $500. Originally was Meta, gave me $500 in Metabucks or Zuckbucks or whatever the fuck. If I had bought an Oculus Rift back then instead of a Nintendo Switch, I could have probably gotten somewhere with it. They were saying that, like, don't play Resident Evil 4. We didn't like you playing Resident Evil or whatever the fuck. Hispanic people, because of the way that Hispanic people were portrayed in Resident Evil 4 with the parasites that going forward. All those games have parasites. Parasite, you had animals and monkeys and zebras and giraffes turn into fucking cannibals and shit. So all those weird anime things have tentacle porn in them and shit. So I don't see how the rated T game had bondage in it with the mogul with the wrestling mask on, saying that they would butt fuck you in a dungeon with fucking bondage fucking gear on. So I don't know how that shit's made. Like, it's going for it's so crazy how they greenlight shit. They can't say that I'm insane and take the idea away from me, or take a Dragon Ball Z parody away from somebody. I know Blobs from Side Scrollers. I had all a Gran Turismo logo of a guy wearing a helmet flashing his ass. The guy, I remember watching this video on YouTube that had his ass hanging out, driving that hard track on Gran Turismo where you have to go through dragon. You have to really know how to drift and shit. The hardest track you unlock, and they had somebody flashing their ass, or that had actually gone to that track, that Normandy track or whatever, and actually That's so crazy.
The graphics are pleasant, though they run at a significant.
Oh, this shit's so crazy. This fucking internet, you can post anything on there and you go forth and say something wrong, and a bunch of people just don't think it's right for you to have that opinion. And then, like, if you call them up at random, they're like, oh, they don't like you, this, that, and the other. They're gonna show how people you really are. And it's like everybody has a moment in time where they just don't feel good, or they don't want a camera on, or I don't have a camera pointed on my family telling them to say horrible things about people, but it just seems that way. I just don't know how somebody that had gotten originally them to write to you, they established that they probably already do who you were if they wrote to you, and that they wrote to you, it established that you had all the information on there with all that stuff, and it had somebody know that they could just go forth and like say one thing and then go forth and do another, and then have 50 people try to be you. It's like a Slim Shady song where the real guy stand up, and I'm not on medicine now that know that like I'm not on anything that try to like wing off whatever the fuck to be able to know that they can't go forth and you have to eat meals with stuff. So I just eat on an empty stomach and say that you just
it feels a bit easy, but
just like wing off everything and like not try to be deemed something that they go forth and say one thing and then do another. That's how it's always been. They say one thing and then they'll do another. It's the opposite of what they tell you. That's what's fucked up about this shit. They go forth and do the opposite of what they tell you, and what's the reason why they wrote to you originally. And I'm not really after the money or any cloud or glow, like how that Etiquette posted porn on there, and he had like the highest grossing YouTube channel, and they ended up killing him. And he didn't realize that at the point in time that he had sued, I think he had sued Sony Santa Monica, Sony products for just claiming how they had people of nationalities all got made fun of it. And now like I didn't play Grand Theft Auto on PlayStation originally. I didn't like it. And I played it on the Xbox 360, but I didn't have it plugged into the internet, and I originally played it, I think, on the PS3. Like I played it when it originally came out, and it just didn't like
this crazy game is Mobile Suit Gundam
the
Extreme
grotesque
versus
kind of
Force, which
stuff
is
that
the
happened. It's too
exclusive.
fucking wild.
First off, this is a pretty great mech game. It kind of sort of reminds me of Gun Griffin on the